Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I know it's been a long time since I chatted. Um, a lot's going on in the world, the election. But before that, here in West North Carolina and the surrounding regions, in Tennessee and other areas, Hurricane Helene left so much devastation, so much sadness. I want to share a poem that I've shared many times with you all before that I have written, and a while back I wrote and entered it into a creative arts festival a number of years back, and won locally and placed nationally. There is so much. To me, it's very appropriate and timely for the hurricane, the turmoil of our country, and the possibility of World War III even, but the world. There is so much sadness around us. It can be challenging to find the good. There is so much loss around us. One cannot fathom some people's grief. There is so much crying around us. Is there enough wood to process our tears? There is so much hatred, heartache around us. It's a wonder more are not having heart attacks. There is so much confusion around us. Our minds stay clouded with thoughts. There is so much hatred around us. What is making everyone so bitter? There's so much racism around us. This ignorance about each other's must stop now. There's so much closed-mindedness around us. It robs us of seeing the beauty each carries within. There is so much blindness around us, blindness to see in another's pain. There is so much hunger around us. Hunger for food, love, another's voice or touch. There is so much not talking around us. It starts as days and turns into years. There is so much. And a Bible verse that to me is appropriate for the time we're in. It's Psalm chapter 57, verse 1. This is about a prayer for mercy and protection from God, written by David while he was hiding from King Saul in a cave. The verse 57, verse 1 in Psalm. Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me, for in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destructions pass by. In this verse, David asks God for mercy and protection, trusting in God for safety until the storm of Saul's wrath ends. The reference to the shadow of God's wings is a metaphor for a mother bird protecting her young. And the storms of life, Hurricane Helene, the storms of life, of so many things going on in the world, but also storms of life at home, the economy, trying to afford everything we need to take care of our expenses. I mean, for food, for rent, medical care, medicine. There is so much. Speaking of there is so much, it is one of my many poems in my book that just came out. It is by Westbow Press, and it is now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's sites as well. Chameleon. And while we're mentioning it, here's my mother's Tablets of My Heart by Mary Pitts. And on mine, it's Joni Leva Dixon, because I'm mentioned so much with my chameleonism that I have for my two last names. Just a side note. But to go along with there is so much. This coming Sunday, it'll be 2 weeks ago, I went to the emergency room because of just the panic attacks. You never know, sometimes they kind of look like symptoms of something else, but it wasn't. But I also just needed something more to calm me down. One thing is I'm very transparent. Some people love it or hate it. But I find I really cling to and really trust and value people's thoughts and wisdom and just advice even. that are transparent, because when you're hiding something, I just don't trust it, and you can tell when they're not transparent or not just being real. But I'm okay, but it was just the last few months have just gotten worse, and I just couldn't take it that day. I woke up, just wouldn't stop. It woke me up off and on overnight, and I just woke up that day and it would not stop, period. So I've just been doing a lot of downtime, a lot of no phone times. So if anybody's trying to communicate with me, I do apologize. Just a lot of no phone time. And stepped away from social media. In the midst of that, I'd come check my notifications and maybe post something or share something very random. But it's been good for me otherwise. The election time and the storm, the hurricane, this Helene, so much devastation and just so much turmoil in this world. We all need to step back sometimes for our own sanity. But I'm getting better. I just took, like I said, about a week or more just to chill, especially this past weekend, just to hardly looked at my phone. And something in my quiet time this past week, I was in the backyard just writing. I'll go out of order a little bit. Excuse me. I do not recall the last time I allowed myself to truly just sit. Sitting outside with nothing but my homemade Frappuccino mocha and my dog Ranger, all rough draft, very rough draft that I'm reading now. So happy for this weather, the beautiful bright sun with no insects flying around. Able to enjoy listening to the wind chimes and watching them magically move about in perfect rhythm. Feeling the sun and closing my eyes to the peace surrounding me. The breeze perfectly matching the sun, the calmness of both relaxing my body and my soul. No clouds to be seen, with the sun shining brilliantly, a combination of warmth from the sun and calm from the breeze. Hearing the planes long before my seeing them as they descend towards the tarmac nearby. Seeing the planes with the reflecting sun on them and imagining the sights they are enjoying from above. Throwing a toy with my dog and watching the smile on his face fills me within. No form of technological devices to distract me from this rare and blessed day, a gift from God. Life keeps us too busy. The news of politics, disasters, and strife cloud my heart. They leave me with anxiety, and this stepping away has been a necessity for my sanity. I had to have this time to rest my mind and soul for survival. Yesterday was a year since my stepfather passed away, so it's been especially hard for my mom and definitely for me as well. I just kind of, another thing with my anxiety, I kind of keep mine inside. Oh, I'm fine. And then my body says, no, you're not fine, and it reacts. So I had to go apart before I fell apart. And I'd missed a lot of my classes with the VA. I have Zoom classes, whole health, and my psychiatrist had retired like 2001 or something. So just now got a new one. So all of that was just gone for a while. And I think that just added up with this hurricane and the elections and just so much turmoil, angst between so many people groups in our world, praying no World War III. So a year ago today, which was Sunday and Saturday when I wrote this, my stepdad went to solace. Prior to that day, he had refused to spend even one day in bed. Emery had been sick for years. He lived long past when they said he would. Even at solace, as he was struggling more to breathe, he was determined to watch an NC State football game and some basketball games. Being in that bed was a rest for him, one he fought to have before him. Rest he needed, yet that rest came with a price, the reality which he had been fighting so hard. Like when wanting to stay up for a late show on TV or something, but falling asleep on the couch anyway. He fell asleep, and he's been with Jesus for the last year. So this kind of sums up some of this too. Again, back from there is so much of what's going on in the world today, and just even regionally. My home was not injured from the storm. We're power out maybe 2.5 days. Boil water advisory until just a couple of days ago. Extremely blessed. Inconvenienced, but blessed. But it still affects us all. And my heart, I think, is what's affected me some more of every video I see every day. The stories, the true stories of what people will go through for years. There is so much loss. I don't think we'll ever know. And just trying to drive around and look at things. When you're here and you see that kind of devastation, your heart just breaks for your people and for a region and for anybody. Whew, I'm a wimp. But I'm not alone. And like I said before, I think physiologically, oh, I'm fine. But your body will tell you, no, you're not. You're not talking about it, or you're not really stepping away from what you're seeing on social media or anything, and you're putting it in your face too much. It's going to come out somehow or another. So that's why I had to step away from a lot the last week and a half or two. So this is just the last thing I've kind of read. I'm sorry, I ramble. The last thing I wrote this past weekend, Saturday. Survivor's guilt is real. Survivor's guilt is real. While comparing the storm's aftermath is not good for anyone. Helene was our Katrina, and something unlike our region has ever seen before. The winds, the mudslides, the floods spreading far from the rivers and the creeks. Some lost everything they owned. Others lost their entire families. Mudslides taking down all in their paths and leaving destruction never before known possible here. The power of water crushing and taking away what once thought unmovable. Almost 2 months later, and knowing 2 years will still hold recovery from the storm in its hands. Seeing communities come together within hours, volunteers were abounding. From locals to those across the state, the country, and overseas even. Supplies of all kinds being donated from day one, from water to food to generators to medicine, and the list goes on. Generally, the generosity of the Amish and those at the Cove, building small homes, and others bringing campers, all for those without a place to exist, to lay their heads down. Boots disintegrating, and the remains, the chemicals now all around. Rescue to recovery, demolishing buildings to destroy to use again. This does not look or feel the same here in Western North Carolina. Of course, this is all rough, except that there is so much. I don't know. I just wanted to share it with also saying that the last couple weeks have just been a couple months, a couple weeks, and what will be a couple years for us all with the storm, with the election, things in the world as a whole. We got to come together and be here for each other and go to God. He's got us. I will end with just reading this verse one more time. chapter 57, verse 1 Psalm. Be merciful to me, O God. Be merciful to me. For in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destruction pass by. Thanks be to God. Peace, blessings, and love to each of you.